Good morning, children. Yesterday we had discussed the first 12 lines of the poem Birches by Robert Frost. And today we are going to discuss the next lines. You will be able to explain meanings of the difficult words as used in the poem, detail the rural images that the poet describes through his poem, identify possible themes of the poem, understand the shift of the poet's mood from reality to imagination. Now note down the important meanings and notes of lines 13 till 20. In a dome of heaven, this symbolizes the perfect world. Had fallen. This refers to coming back to reality. Dragged means pulled down. Withered means dried up. Bracken means fern. They are a type of plant. By the load means by the burden. They here refers to the birches. Never right themselves means the birches cannot make themselves straight again. Arcing means bending. Trailing means pulling behind or hanging downwards. Earlier, we had read how the poet is enchanted by the beauty of the snow-covered birches and imagines that they are bent by a boy's swinger. He then admits that the birches are bent because of the load of snow. The snow melts as the sun rises in the morning, and one would think that the inner dome of heaven had fallen. Now let us start the next paragraph. You would think the inner dome of heaven had fallen. Here, apostrophe D means would. The inner dome of heaven symbolizes the perfect world. Had fallen means coming back to reality. They are dragged to the withered bracken. Here, dragged means pulled down. Withered means dried up. Bracken are fern, a type of plant. By the load, here the load refers to the load of the snow, and they seem not to break. Though once they are bowed, so low for long, they never right themselves. They means the birches. Never right themselves means they are never able to straight themselves. Now in these lines, the poet wants to say that the ice crystals scattered around the tree as the inner dome of heaven had fallen. This line signals coming back to reality. The birches are bent down under the weight of ice and snow until they reach the dried up ferns and other plants on the ground. The speaker says that though the trees seem not to break, but can never right themselves. This means when the trees are bent down for quite a long time, they cannot straighten out afterwards, though they are not completely broken. Now let us start the next paragraph. You may see their trunks arcing in the woods. Their trunks means the trunks of the birches. Arcing means bending. Years afterwards. Years afterwards means after many years. Trailing their leaves on the ground. Here trailing means hanging downwards. Like girls on hands and knees that throw their hair before them over their heads to dry in the sun. For better understanding of these lines, I'll show you a video along with the explanation.
Again, the speaker's imagination rises as he has used a simile comparing the bowed birch trees to girls on their hands and legs, their hair hanging down in front of them as if they are drying their hair in the sun.
Now write down the meanings of lines 21 till 27. Truth broke in. Here, truth is referred to as a woman who interrupts one's thoughts. Matter of fact means being straightforward. To fetch means to go and bring something. Some boy. This refers to here an imaginary boy. Baseball is a game. Now let us start the next paragraph. But I was going to say, when truth broke in. Here, truth is referred to as a woman who interrupts the thoughts of the poet. With all her matter of fact. Matter of fact means being straightforward about the ice storm. I should prefer to have some boy bend them. Here the word prefer is very important. The poet has rejected the narrow limitations of the outside world in favor of his own poetic vision. The poet is saying here that he was thinking that the birches are bent by some boy swinger when the truth came to his mind, and being straightforward told him that the birches were bent by ice storm and not the boy swinger. But he would still prefer to think that it was some boy who did it. So some boy here is an imaginary boy. As he went out in to fetch the cows, this imaginary boy herds cows. To fetch means to bring. Some boy too far from town to learn baseball. Baseball is name of a game, whose only play was what he found himself, summer or winter, and could play alone. Now, for better understanding of this paragraph, I would show you a video and explain along with it. The speaker now dismisses the ice storm as a cause for the condition of the birches in favor of his original explanation that a boy had bent them. This boy herds cows as he does not know how to play baseball and does not have any friends. Okay, children, now get ready with the lines 28 to 40. First of all, let us do the meanings of lines 28 till 35. He here refers to the boy swinger. Subdued means defeated. Stiffness means firmness. Not one but means none of them. Limp means not stiff. To conquer means to win over. Launching means releasing, like a catapult.
Now let us start the poem. One by one he subdued his father's trees. He here refers to the boy swinger. Subdued means defeated. By riding them down over and over again. Riding them down means the boy was climbing over the trees and pulling them down until he took the stiffness out of them. Stiffness means the firmness of the birch trees, and not one but hung him limp. Not one was left for him to conquer. Now the limp here means not stiff, which means because of the boy climbing over the birches, not even one birch was left which was stiff now. He had conquered all of them. He learned all there was to learn about not launching out too soon. Launching here means releasing, like a catapult, and so not carrying the tree away clear to the ground. Now I will discuss the explanation of these lines. In these lines, the speaker says that the boy defeated his father's trees. Riding them means by climbing them until he takes the firmness out of them. This leaves him absolutely victorious over the trees. Not one was left for him to conquer. The boy learns to get all the way to the top of the tree and not to bend it before he has reached the top. The boy's conquest of the tree mirrors the victory of poet's imagination over the real world. For now, his previous vision of the ice storm was completely conquered by the vision that it was the boy swinger who had bent the birches.
Now let us do the meanings of lines 36 to 40. Poise means balance. Pains means care. Brim means top edge of a cup. Flung outward. Here it means hang outside holding the top branches of the tree. Feet first. The boy took care that as he jumped, his feet should touch the ground first. With a swish, sound of quick movement in the air.
Now let us do the next lines. He always kept his poise. He again here refers to the boy swinger. Poise means balance. To the top of branches, climbing carefully with the same pains you use to fill a cup. Pains here means care. Up to the brim and even above the brim. What do you mean by brim? The top edge of a cup. Then he flung outward. Flung outward means the boy was hanging outside the tree holding the top branches. Feet first with a swish, kicking his way down through the air to the ground. Feet first means when the boy jumped, he took care that his feet should first touch the ground. With a swish. Swish means the sound of quick movement in the air. Even when we move a stick in the air, a type of sound is produced. That sound is swish. Kicking his way down through the air to the ground. This only refers to the jumping of the boy from the birches, bringing the top branches to the ground. He is doing all this to bend the birches. Now let us do the explanation of these lines. These lines contain a description of the boy's technique of climbing and bending the birches. He must take pains carefully to reach the top of each tree, which is similar to taking care when we fill a cup, up to the brim and even above the brim. The poet is here describing a method of reaching beyond the limits of things. The boy reaches the top of the tree. Next he kicks his feet while holding on to the top branch. The tree just bends enough so that the boy is lowered to the ground without any harm. This is suggestive of the fact that lowering down on the earth is not merely a physical action, but coming back to the real world after the flight of imagination.
Now open your workbook Reverie on page number 24. Read explanation of the lines 13 to 40 and plan lines 40 to 59 of the poem Birches by Robert Frost.